What's up, guys? This is a frog gig video, which I've never done. So if you want to see me make some mistakes, stick around. Yep, never built one of these. So I ordered a pointy thing from Amazon for, I think it was like 18 bucks. I have a 10-foot 2-piece blank from Bridgemasters I picked up the other day. Nathan and I went shopping. I have some EVA for the giant saltwater rods. And then I have some camo cord that I've had forever that I use occasionally. So we're gonna make some cool frog giggy thing. So stick around. Okay, here's what I think I'm gonna do. So I have this large diameter, I think it was 7/8 inch piece of EVA that's 14 inches long that I think is gonna be like this is basically a stick with a sharp point on the end, so you gotta throw it. I think I can balance it to this point so you'll have a hand grip. I think I'm gonna do some cool camo wrappy stuff. Probably not on the EVA, but at least on the blank. Let me show you a little bit more. On the blank, much like just a regular guide wrap accent, I think it'll look pretty cool. But I've never done this. So let's start mixing up some sticky stuff and see how it turns out. Okay, mix up a big batch of this pearl paste. This is a 30-minute, so I got some time to work. So we're gonna mark part A, the resin, and then some of part B. Alright, now I've marked on the blank here where I would like the grip to stop. It's going to stretch a little bit to get to there, but I think it will. I've got marked on my wrapper here where I think I'm going to stop putting the epoxy paste on it. So let's get this thing smeared up real quick. This has got a nice ribbed texture to it, so it should stay in place once I get it there. Okay, that should stick it plenty. Okay, now let's pull the EVA in place, spinning as you go to smear the Pro Paste epoxy a little better. Ooh, there's my tape. Now that I've got the paste on right now is acting more like a lubricant. So the EVA is stretching a little bit, and I wanted this to go down towards the beginning of the 2-piece part as much as possible for balance. And with EVA, you can stretch it. With cork, you'd never do this and break it. But with EVA, the tighter you can get it on, the better off you are. Now we're going to do something about that little gap there, but we'll figure that out later with the cord wrap. Okay, let's clean this mess up. Okay, the EVA's on. And I think it's going to work pretty awesome. But what I'm going to do now is attempt a wrap like I've never done before. I'm going to use this cord, and I'm going to drop it on the floor and kind of hold it, hopefully, with my feet. And get it to wrap like we normally would wrap something. So let's get a little bit of tape here. I'm going to pin it like we would just a regular wrap, guide wrap. Get my shoes off here so I can control this giant spool with my feet, maybe. I'm going to put the wrapper on wrap mode. Now let's just see how this worked. That didn't stick. That was predictable. Still not sticking. Told you you're going to see some mistakes. That didn't work. Let's try it again. The only reason I wanted to do it this way is I wanted to pin that wrap right there like that. Okay. Now, I don't want it to hold any longer. I'll try to pull some tension back with the spool to hold this. Alright. Because what I want to be able to do, and this is where it gets quite tricky, is I want to glue this down as I go. So I want to be able to glue this so it stays in place. And I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but we're going to try it anyway. And there, my wrap just came loose. I don't want a lot of glue on it, I just want a little bit. I'm trying to keep this tag in out of the way of the glue process. Alright, so this actually might be working. And yes, there is a bit of a tone of surprise in my voice with that. But again, never done this. This is new for me. And we'll glue in here. Again, I've got my left foot is keeping the spool from rolling away that way, so it's holding tension. And I'm going to take my scissors here and cut this as cleanly as I can. That's got glue on it. I want to clean the scissors off. Alright, so what we've got so far is just a wrap. Yeah, I got a little too much glue. It's squeezing out right there through the cord. get that off with some alcohol later. Keep spreading this so it doesn't do it again. Alright, now how do you end this wrap? Well, we're going to try to do a traditional thread pull and just see how it works out. So I made one, and you want it to be about the same diameter as the thread or rope you're pulling, because you need that space underneath the wrap so you can pull the line back through. So we're going to try this. I don't know how it's going to work, because I'm going to wind up pulling some epoxy paste back through it. We just might have to do a little more cleanup tonight. But we're going to give it a whirl. I'm going to run it out a little further. Let's get this epoxy spread even. Right there. No, we didn't want too much epoxy. Just pushing it at least. Don't think I'm going to need but a few twists or a few wraps to get it to hold. Right, I'm going to try putting it right there. Just a little bit of epoxy underneath there. That's going to wind up coming back through. Let's try this here. Got scissors. Get it through it. And it's jumped out of my wrapper. Okay, not sure how well this is going to work, but let's give it a whirl. Yeah, that didn't work. Alright, so let's back this off. We're going to loosen these threads up quite a bit, which is the opposite of what I would normally do, where I'd be trying to pull some tension in them. So I'm going to spin them back here. See if I can pull it through it now. Alright. Time for some reinforcements. Again, this is like 100 times scale of what I'm used to doing with thread and wraps. So it's not working like I had hoped it would. Okay, plan B. Again, I told you there was going to be some mistakes. Let's try this instead. Let's take that out. And we're going to try to tuck this in as I pull that out. Aha! Alright, now we have it through, and I've got glue all over my hands. Let's get some of this cleaned up. And let's see if we can't get it to tighten back down the way we normally would a thread wrap. Now, what I need to do is put a little bit of epoxy in there. I'm going to cut it with a razor blade. I'm going to try to tuck it in and get it to hold. Well, that turned out okay, but I think when we come back, we'll let this alcohol dry out of this. We'll let this epoxy cure, and we'll put a thin coat of thread preserver on it, and then maybe even a coat of finish epoxy. But we'll see. Y'all stick around. That worked better than expected, but it's still a bit of a mess. But we got it figured out. So we're gonna, while I've got this epoxy paste still mixed up, I'm gonna do, this is the second part, this is the butt end. Well, this paste is hard, so I won't be doing that. I have to mix it some more. Okay, now for the second piece of the two-piece, this is the butt end. We're gonna work on, this is a cap I found, it's a little big, but I think I can put a little bit of a tape arbor in there and make that work out just fine. This will seal it, so in theory it will float. We'll see how that works out. So now we're going to do a very similar, now that we figured out how to do it, we're going to do a very similar rope wrap on this end to match what we have here, which I think is pretty cool. I might be a little biased, but you know, what can I tell you? So we're going to do about the same length, so I'm going to go ahead and make a mark here, which I'll add some tape to in a minute. We're going to make a mark here because this is where it's going to end, so we can put the butt cap on it. We have that marked. Let's put this over here out of the way. Let that finish setting up. We will do tape here to mark the end of our rope wrap. We'll do some tape on this end, mark the beginning of our wrap, which is there. It just helps me identify where I'm going to stop and start, and it helps with the cleanup of the glue. So we're going to mix up another batch. Y'all stick around. Okay, mixed up a much smaller batch this time because I realized that it didn't need nearly as much as I thought I was going to need. So we're going to slide this back, hold this beast in place. I'm going to wind up with the pattern going the other direction because I think that's going to be a cool look. I don't know that anybody will notice it but me and you now that I told you, but hopefully somebody's paying attention. Okay, hands are relatively clean. We've got our epoxy paste mix, we've got our razor knife, we've got scissors, which you're going to need to control this. I've got this giant spool of cord between my feet. I'm going to use the edge of the table as our guide. I'm going to take this down here to hold it for at least a moment or two. Get this out of the way. Put a little bit of glue because I don't want it all over my hands again like it was last time. Alright, start this wrap here. Right on the tape. Hopefully it will stay there. It's a little slippery and tries to move around on you with the glue. And that's going to be quite a bit of glue squeezing out there, but that'll be okay. Same thing with that one. Straighten this out. Okay, so given the catastrophe of the first time I tried doing this, I think I got a better idea. Probably not, but we're going to try it anyway. I'll roll up a little closer to my tape mark, where I have about 3 or 4 wraps left to go. A little excess glue in here. And now what I'm going to do is pin my pick. Maybe. Let's try this. I just want to keep it open so that I've got room to pull that cord back through without a lot of hassle. Okay, this is the wrap that it comes through. Okay, so let's cut this. Yeah, I'm using my foot down here to hold tension because I don't have enough hands. Now let's try this. What we're going to do is pull a little bit of slack. That was not planned, but it actually might work out okay. And then we're going to push, maybe. Pull this, pull some more slack so I can just tuck. And everything fell out. So we want to tuck this through here. Got it through. It's not gone as planned again. Let's get it back in the wrapper. Definitely gonna need a few extra hands for this fun. Now, I'll pull this tight. Oh, I got their pliers here somewhere. Yes, I do. Pull tension back in that. And slide this other over for a moment. So I can get in here with a razor blade. Cut that. Took some of that ugly out of the way. All right, there you go. We have successfully, not without a challenge, completed 2 rope grips, which I wanted to try on an actual fishing rod, and I tried it once, it didn't work out like I wanted, but now this actually works out pretty good. I think it looks great. We'll see what it looks like when I get the final epoxy on it and with the color preserver in it. But that's it for today, guys. When I come back, we will finish this up. We'll put the pointy end in the other end of the stick and put the cap on, and we'll have a frog gig. Hey guys, if this is the first video you've seen on this channel, watch this video next. If you're enjoying what you're seeing here, click the subscribe button, click the like. Let me know that you enjoy this so I keep doing it, because the rod building stuff is cool. The camera stuff is not so much fun. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. I will see you next time.